Well, good morning, folks. Welcome to the fourth watch, that morning watch that I mentioned in a post yesterday between 3 a.m. and 6 a.m. in the morning. The fourth watch, as I mentioned, was established as far back as Exodus in the Old Testament. Fourth watch is a time when warning will come. Fourth watch is a time for folks to rise and be about their business and prepare for the day. Fourth watch, the Celts believed there were times in the early evening and late morning like this that space and time and the space between heaven and earth are at its thinnest. Perhaps that's why the Lord, as I've mentioned before, why the Lord wakes me up almost every morning about 3 o'clock so I can stand vigil and ponder and pray and write and read. You will notice that in the morning my voice is a little rougher and a little deeper than it is later in the day. But that's all right. I can tell my darling good morning and make her smile. So I'll say that to you also. And I know it's hard to see me. It's dark. It's 4:37. I left home going for Tennessee and our little cabin to have some work that's going to be done by a fella this week. And so I want to get down there today and be able to enjoy the day a little bit. It's supposed to rain a little today, but Monday and Tuesday was when he's going to do some work. It's supposed to be nice. My neighbors always laugh because when I go to Tennessee, to our little cabin down in Sunbright, Tennessee, it seems like I always bring the rain, but I'm not responsible for all the rain they've had in the past few days, I suppose, but I am on my way, and if it rains later in the week when I'm down there, I suppose I might be to blame. So this morning I just want to remind you that it is a good time to rise up and prepare for your day. It is a good time to pray. It is a good time to ponder and seek answers to life's questions. It's a good time to be creative and to write. I will tell you, I've tried and I can't write late at night. I can read. Oh my, give me a good book, especially when I was younger, a science fiction book, and I would be up to all hours of the day and night and morning reading it straight through if at all possible. Now, my dear friend Dan down in Cincinnati gave me a box full of Robert Heinlein books, and I am blessed by that, and I have several of those with me and look forward to reading those while I'm down here. But this morning, as I pray, I want to share a couple prayer requests with you for those of you that do pray and believe in that power as I do. Now, I'm not going to mention folks necessarily by name, but as I do, they will know who they are. I've had a message from a friend here in the Beaver Creek area, Sandy, and praying for her husband who had COVID and pneumonia and is on a ventilator. And she asked me to pray, and I'm sharing with you that you pray that his organs will still continue to do well and to get better, that his respiration will improve, that his blood pressure will remain stable. That's a good prayer to pray for her husband. And then my buddy Don, whose son had a stroke down in Kentucky, I just lift him up and ask two things. Number one, that God, in that long process, would continue to heal his body and help him recover from the debilitating effects of that stroke on his body, that he would begin to be able to use his words more and his body, the side of his body that was affected. My friend Nancy that has had a stroke, and as I pray for folks around and about here, that you would lift her up. She's had a stroke and her family's gathered around her, and she's been moved, and I will continue to pray for her family. I don't have any updates. I haven't heard anything out of the family, as they are not bothering to tell me because they don't need to. They have their own concerns and their prayers, but I lift her up to you. Another church member of mine named John, who has COVID for the second time apparently, I lift him also up to you as I talk about church members. Lift him up to you and pray that he would continue to get well and to heal. My sister-in-law's sister has been recovering from COVID, and some other members of the family, I believe, and she had her monoclonal infusion, and I'm hoping that she's feeling better, that her sense of taste and smell would return. And Lord, as I'm sharing this with my friends, I lift these folks up to you. And my one friend said that he prayed a dangerous prayer. He prayed a difficult prayer because he knew that his son needed the Lord. And that the Lord do whatever it takes to get his son's attention. That's a dangerous prayer. That's a difficult prayer. But I honor and respect the sentiment behind the prayer of a daddy for his child. Because I'll tell you something, folks, if heaven is real and if hell indeed is also real, then praying those dangerous prayers, those difficult prayers, if the soul is more important than the health of the body, then that is not only a dangerous prayer, but it is a heartfelt prayer. And this morning and every morning in this darkness and dawn just sneaking up on us, here it is almost a quarter till for me. Dawn is not yet to come. I think about our ancestors. I often do. I talk all the time about those of my lines, my lineages that came through the Cumberland Gap and into Kentucky. And I think about those early morning hours. No light other than what they would call a coal oil lantern, kerosene lamp, and a wood stove, or maybe even a coal grate being the only heat. Somebody has to get up and knock around the ashes and get them out of the stove or the grate and see if there are embers that are still there that can be brought to life. Coal or wood added to heat the house up as folks start to move. And early morning back then was not an easy task. It wasn't getting up and brushing your teeth and going to the bathroom in a warm bathroom with a cold sea. It was going out to a cold outhouse some distance from the house. If you've ever used an outhouse, you understand why they are not close. Feeding animals early in the morning, milking before daylight so that wives and children could have fresh milk for their meal. The mama being up, and maybe if they had enough chickens to have eggs every day, she's frying eggs and maybe some smoked meat, maybe some bacon that they've smoked, maybe some sausage, maybe some ham along with those eggs. Maybe all she has to fix is some rice made into a cereal with milk and some sugar or honey. Perhaps she has oats and makes oatmeal. And the children are up and their faces washed. And share this food, this land that you have given us. So Lord, we ask your continued blessings, even in these rough times, even in these thin times, when food is scarce. Thank you for what we have that we can bring. And then if they were folks that love their neighbors, they would pray for their neighbors and their friends and their family far away. Because back years ago, 100 years ago, you didn't just pick up a phone and call. You wrote letters and you hoped that those you loved were doing well. So on this second day of the new year, this rainy day, 4:47, I'm going to just quit. I'm driving along. I'll be getting on Interstate 75 headed south in just a couple moments, and I'm on a side road so I can talk to you. So even though I've written it, I wanted to add my voice and tell you I wish you not only a happy new year, but a blessed and a prosperous new year. And if you often join me in this fourth watch, the morning watch, 3 a.m. to 6 a.m., as much of the world is still asleep, I ask God's blessings on you. And, you know, I'm just hoping that our year is better, that those we love survive, those we love are healthy and happy and blessed. And with that, this is the old doctor, Doc Hollen, snake oil salesman extraordinaire, saying good morning, happy new year, and blessings. Loads and loads and piles of blessings be upon all of us this year. Take care, y'all.